Wasting time is looked down on in the world today. If we're not spending every moment of every day doing something that will help us achieve our goals, we're doing life wrong. We're told to try this life hack or that daily regimen to improve our lives. This worldview has come to be known as the cult of productivity. Hundreds of podcasters, gym rats, and productivity gurus are out there trying to motivate people to confront the inevitable grind that stands between them and success. It's clear that these gurus have a specific idea about what success means, and there's not really a lot of room for interpretation. If you don't wake up at 3 a.m. to down a giant glass of mushroom drink before joining your spouse in your incense-ridden reflection tent for a 2-hour mindfulness ceremony before getting the day started, you're doing it wrong. This mindset is all over social media, and the product these gurus are selling apparently motivates and energizes hundreds of thousands of people every single day. But is this the yellow brick road to true happiness? Is this the golden pathway to contentment? Maybe, maybe not. The idea of wasting time goes back a long way. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher, said life isn't short. It only seems that way because we waste a lot of it. Seneca went on to say that we can accomplish all that we wish if only we wisely invest our time. But luxury and carelessness often get in the way of what we want to achieve in life. At first, Seneca's words sound wise and true, but one can't help but wonder if Seneca himself ever wasted time. After all, he was tasked with tutoring Emperor Nero, widely considered one of the worst emperors in history. Not only this, but Seneca was eventually accused of conspiring against the very emperor he tutored and was subsequently sentenced to commit suicide, and he accepted. Was Seneca's efforts to guide the mad emperor in the ways of wisdom a waste of time? Maybe. Maybe not, but there seems to be a good argument there. The point is that the process of achieving goals looks different for everyone. Screenwriter Aaron Sorkin, who wrote A Few Good Men and Social Network, has said many times that his writing process includes a lot of time not writing. That sounds counterintuitive, or just plain wrong. A productivity-minded writer may suggest Sorkin needs to sit in a chair X number of hours each day if he hopes to finish his next screenplay. This is obviously not true, and Sorkin would probably laugh at the suggestion. Productivity formulas have never worked in my writing life. I've published 2 novels now, and the process for one looked very different from the other. Why? Because circumstances, resources, and my psychology changed from one project to the next. And I managed to achieve my goals without sleeping just 3 hours per day or drinking boatloads of mushroom drink. But there's another element to this productivity thing. And that's the question of wasting time in a way that doesn't contribute to our life goals. British philosopher Bertrand Russell famously said, "The time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time." And this is coming from one of the greatest and most productive philosophers of the past 150 years. There are lots of ways to interpret Russell's statement, but one way to understand it is that it's okay to enjoy life for its own sake. You don't always need to be chasing the dollar, especially if you're anxious and depressed in the process. Constantly being stressed out about this or that doesn't really help anything, and it can really make life miserable. Studies have uncovered the dark underbelly of this culture. Psychology Today published a report that said toxic productivity is one of the leading causes of diagnosed depression and anxiety. But the productivity gurus never seem stressed or anxious or depressed. They always look like they're doing well, and that's part of the shtick, because they're constantly trying to sell their listeners on their way of life, which usually includes a course that costs several $100s, sometimes thousands. And then we have to ask ourselves, is this motivational speaker really going to help me live out my dreams? The answer, sadly, is probably no. A culture that demands the constant work and grind life imagines its citizens as little gray crank turners, working and grinding and struggling and crank turning until eventually they're crushed beneath the weight of their own disappointment and lack of self-worth. That's no way to live. And it's certainly not the absurdist's way to live. Someone once told me, "I'm here for a good time, not a long time." I don't think Albert Camus himself could have phrased it better. The reality is that we're awake and conscious, and we have a finite amount of time to enjoy the things offered to us on this planet. We're here to soak up as much experience as we can, sponge-like, and it'd be a shame if we spent it in perpetual despair and anxiety because we didn't become a billionaire or get the recognition we wanted on social media. Spend life the way you want to spend it. We only have so many days on this planet, and there's so much to do. So go, do the things, live the absurdist life by gathering all the experiences you can, like trophies. Sleep in if you want. Watch movies and attend concerts. Go for hikes and write poems and read books in the middle of nowhere. Be unproductive and do it on your own terms. Because in the end, after we've wasted all the time we possibly could, time itself will always have the final word.